Hey guys, ChoocoboYao here with another school project. Before we begin, I would be aware that there is 2 forms of swearing with the major one censored. So please be mature as the book uses swears as I have quoted it to be. Animation inspired by the series Zero Punctuation by Yahtzee as on the Escapist magazine. Check it out for animation rants professionally done there. Let's get this started. The non-fictional novel, The Book Club, is a charming story from the words of the author and his own efforts to raise his son. However, it seems to be a setup for disaster as the son, Jesse, drops out of high school, with permission from his father, David. David sets up a plan for Jesse to watch 3 films a day routinely, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There is a set of rules, of course. One particular is no drugs, or else David will drop a f***ing house on Jesse. This is because David's trying to unconventionally show Jesse he has a future not to be wasted. It's not that Jesse is a conniving ass trying to run away from life, but simply he needed reasoning and motivation. A sweet-natured boy who was incapable of doing anything that didn't interest him. Comments from others would say that they liked him. Even police who arrested Jesse for spraying painting a school and had said, "I'd forget about a life of crime, Jesse. You just don't have it." David had noticed Jesse's attitudes, behaviors, and feelings were the same at David at youth. David hated school as a student, had noticed the same feelings with Jesse, and this is where the life of David becomes the correctional path for Jesse, a theme of making sure history doesn't repeat itself. The mistakes of David's life were to be avoided, but once problems arise, David would be there to help Jesse through the troubles. Alan Ladd had once said, "Not every father gets a chance to start his son off in his own footsteps." In David's case, his future path is you. Don't screw this up. David may be the front line, but this doesn't mean it won't stop everything. However, David knows this and comfortably shows his bias in his writing and his own character. David at first thinks he knows what exactly Jess needed because he had these needs at a young age. He thought that the Beatles were as amazing as the invention of electricity. Turns out that Jesse had said that the Beatles were a dreadful group, while slapping David in the face. At least the slap had managed to awake David to realize that he needed a different approach, especially when Jesse mixes up an orgasm with a hug. David must allow Jesse to learn for himself and only influence when needed. But how can he when he overstates everything 100 times worse than the apocalypse? David once thought that bad boy school dropouts would fall off the earth into a graveyard of elephants but for boys. Soon enough, the reader expects the next description by David to be over the top that is only influenced by himself. I quote, "If a pedestrian had approached my basement windows after midnight, he might have heard the angry voices of 2 tall boys, chefs by day, rappers by night, giving voice to the indignities of growing up in the ghetto, shooting heroin, robbing stores, selling guns. Craziest basement ever." This has always pushed David to make sure his exaggerated memories were never to happen to Jesse. David's biased opinions with the over-the-top hyperboles let the theme of David's self-reflections bring humor and thought-provoking emotion to the character and the reader. I found myself laughing with David when he describes anything with his own son and his judgment, and realizing how much of his life's relationships, youth, and experience is a beacon to beware the dangers without blinding Jesse into a rock. Both Jesse and David become stronger in their relationship as father and son, and the path to a better future is within reach. Thus concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you read The Book Club by David Gilmour, and as always, take care. Have fun.